Hello and welcome to FloatSys' webinar on Maritime Cybersecurity Management. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. This is the first of its kind. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please send an email to academy@floatsys.com. We will try to cover as many questions as possible at the end of the webinar. So these are the slides which I passed by without showing you guys. So this was the CMA CGM screenshot what I mentioned. Then the list of the shipping companies which was affected by cyber attacks in last few years. These are the largest 4 container lines in the world. IMO office was attacked. That is also within last 1 month. Carnival Cruise was attacked by ransomware in August. So these were all the the clippings from various news portals. So this was the case study we were talking about. The ship the Egdis was infected by a virus. So the ship was designed for paperless navigation. So they didn't have any paper charts. So failure of Egdis, electronic chart display information system, they thought it was some kind of technical disruption. So this is a new build ship. So they didn't know there was some cyber issue in there. So they called the tech from the manufacturer, and who had to come. So it took several days for the tech to come on board. So after spending a lot of troubleshooting, they found out that it was infected by virus, and they quarantined it, and computers were all restored, and so that delay actually caused several days of delays, a lot of money for the shipping company, right? So now this is an operational technology related attack, whereas the previous ones which we spoke about, all the container lines, those are all information technology related attacks. So going into history of cybersecurity, it's in 1960s, this whole internet thing, it started, just baby steps at that time. In 1971, this Bob Thomas guy created the first computer worm. So the one major cyber attack, virus attack, is something probably this is something that we all, a lot of us will remember. A worm called I Love You. So it was affected in a large number of countries in the world. We had a first malware conference in 10 years ago. So that is when we started talking about malware. Seriously talking about protecting against malwares on an international basis. If you remember, ISM Code was adopted in 90s. So at that time, when we said about taking safeguard against all perceived risks, we didn't think about cyber attacks and cyber risks. And WikiLeaks, you all know, so this is the right time to remember before the US presidential elections. So this is what we spoke about was the cyber attacks in general, not specific for the maritime. In the maritime field, the vulnerabilities was the major report which came out was from ENISA, which is the European Network and Information Security Agency. They came out with a report in 2011 pointing out that there is maritime cybersecurity system. I mean, cyber space is very vulnerable. Um, so in US also, they under the Patriot Act, they started thinking about it in 2013. They formed a committee and stuff like that, and lot of the issues also started popping up by 2013. 2016, I mean, we have major companies getting attacked. 2017 is the one we spoke about, the APM Maersk, who actually lost 300 million was the cost of that one attack, and that their whole system was down for several weeks. Is what I read from the news reports. And 2017 itself, there was another tanker company was also attacked. So this keeps on going, and then I spoke about some of the other incidences which are also real incidences. All these things don't get a lot of paper publicity. So why does this happen? I mean, this is good business. So there are some people making a lot of money out of this, but there are other players also in this one. Let's look at another case. Here, the companies, shipping companies, business networks were infected by ransomware. It came from shipping agents. So it is two different shipping agents on separate ports and separate occasions. This same shipping company's systems were affected. Ships were also affected, but it was only on the business networks. Ships and operations were not affected in this case, but the owner paid ransom. This is basically coming from the shipping agent who takes care about the ship's affairs in the port where they go, in foreign ports when they go for the ships for the things to be taken care, booking the berth and all those things. They have shipping agents. So this communication through the emails, they got the virus attack. So this is actually pointing out, we have to worry about our dealings with others also, not just, if the company is protecting all their systems, that is not good enough. We are interacting with other people through the internet, or otherwise somebody is coming and plugging in a USB. The attack could happen from anywhere. So we should have proper controls on all those aspects. So this is just summary on the elements of cyber risk management. According to the NIST, that is the US organization for standards and technology, cybersecurity, their cybersecurity framework, they have the basic elements identified, and these are the same thing identified in the IMO's resolution also. Identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. And the same thing is put in a different way in the BIMCO guidelines also. I'll go over that. So identify means identify the threats, identify the assets, vulnerabilities, and all those things. And once you identify what are the risks related to cyber risk, then you take protective actions so that doesn't happen. Be prepared for detecting any attacks, and you should know how to respond, and so you be prepared for responding it. So any detection, you should be able to immediately respond. And in case something happens, you should be able to recover from that without major issues. Without major damages. Same thing is presented in a slightly different way. So basically, identify threats. So understand the threats that is around us. Understand the kind of issues that could happen, and identify the vulnerabilities. So identify what are the assets that we are trying to protect. Understand what is the consequences of something if something were to happen, and what limitations do we have and what is the capability of the protection system, whatever we have now. So based on that, you do a risk assessment to see. So risk assessment is basically you are assessing the likelihood of something happening and the consequences of that, the impact of that, how bad that could be. So the risk assessment on or making deciding on what to accept. So this is something the top management onwards will have to be involved in it. So what is the budget? I mean, how much money are you going to spend for protecting against this risks? And what is the benefit likely to happen? And based on the risk assessment, based on the risk assessment, you should take measures to protect your assets. And if something were to happen, you should have contingency plans, and which is a prescription as per ISM code also. You should have a contingency plan for each identified major risk, and the respond and recover we already discussed. So that is the cycle how this keeps going. The threats, some of that is activists could be a threat. They could attack to make a point. It could be a disgruntled employee, ex-employee, who could be creating a problem. It could be criminals. I mean, the ransomware where people are trying to make money. Opportunists. I mean, somebody for a hobby just to show that I'm a cool guy or I can do all these things. There are people who might do it. There are countries who are doing this for their espionage, for data collection and intelligence collection. They do this kind of things. It could be a terrorist attack. So these are the various types of threats, and each of them have a different kind of motivation and they have their capabilities also. And so what could happen, we can based on, so if we consider all these things, we are able to assess what is the kind of problems that we are going to we are likely to face based on this. Let's look at one more case study. Here, this one is actually, it is not coming from anybody who had any malified intention. Here, the ship had an integrated navigation bridge. It suffered a failure, and that too in a busy, high traffic area and low visibility. And so they had to run with one radar and paper charts for 2 days before they could reach a port. So this was actually a very risky affair. And what happened was, the next port of call, the technician from the EGDIS supplier who came on board, and when they checked, I mean, finally what they realized is, on the previous port of call, there was they updated the software for the EGDIS, and they didn't update the operating system was outdated. So this new update of the software was not compatible with the operating system. So finally the computer crashed. So what they had to go through all the procedures, fix everything, call the surveyor on board to present to him that everything is fixed. Report the near miss, all those procedures, and they spend a lot of money on that. So this is basically showing that, I mean, it is not necessarily with somebody with a bad motivation have to do this one. It could happen if you don't have proper processes to control these things also. So next step is identify vulnerabilities. So identifying vulnerabilities is one of the identify the critical cybersecurity assets. So like we initially spoke about, there are information technology assets, which is basically the business networks and the way the data is kept, data collection and business communication and all those things, which is the information technology systems. And there is an operational technology systems, which is basically controlling the ship's navigation. I mean, the bridge navigation system is the operational technology system, or the we have another slide on that. And then we have to identify what kind of integrations this have. So if this is totally isolated system, one fails, the impact is much low. But if it is connected with the like integrated navigation or bridge navigation system, you are talking about a major issue. I mean, one failure could be impacting so many things. Then we have to look at how the software update is done, and what procedures are followed for that. I mean, the example we just discussed about the operating system was not was outdated and things like that. And what all things are remote, what remote monitoring systems are there, and what policy on password is there. You know, there are some people just do admin123 is the password everywhere. And that is, they keep it written somewhere so that everybody can look at it in case they forget it. So that kind of practices have to change. And what kind of password they have. I mean, what kind of firewalls or segmentations? Segmentation in the sense, you know, when you keep the business network separately, you keep the, say, passenger information, I mean, the passenger Wi-Fi or whatever system is there, I mean, keep that separately, and the operational technology systems, all the ship systems, keep them separate, so that from every place, only through a firewall you can come inside to the other system. So I mean, even if something is breached on one side, you won't get access to more critical systems. Some of the common vulnerabilities are, say, I mean, we already discussed obsolete and unsupported operating systems, outdated or missing antivirus software and protection from malware, inadequate security configurations and best practices, including ineffective network management and the use of default administrator accounts and passwords. See, like what I said, admin123 for everywhere, so everybody knows about it. Shipboard computer networks which lack boundary protection measures and segmentation, the one I spoke about, separating between different type of systems. Safety critical equipment or systems always connected with the shore side. I mean, that is, I mean, they may be doing that for monitoring, but that is an exposure. That is a vulnerability. I mean, that is a way how a threat could get into the ship. Inadequate access controls for third parties, including contractors and service providers. I mean, folks just can go inside, and this is actually, they have to have proper systems as per the ISPS code also, but it doesn't always happen. So that also could be a problem. When somebody comes, it is his, I mean, he supplied that equipment, let him do whatever, I mean, give him the full freedom to handle it without making sure that he is following proper procedures. So this is, these are the, I mean, so basically we have to identify all the vulnerabilities, and that is the information that goes into the risk assessment process. So this is just to go through various types of the cybersecurity assets, cybersecurity related assets on board a ship. Of course, the communication system, the bridge navigation system, which is actually connecting with so many systems. My one screen is hiding this one, and I don't know what it is. Okay, this is basically the business systems on board the ship, and which is basically crew information, and that one has access to, I mean, so the crew will be accessing that from their personal computers and stuff like that, and so that might be causing a vulnerability. passenger, that is the passenger Wi-Fi systems and all. So the power management systems or propulsion control systems and stuff like that, which is operational, which is major, very important systems on board those. Access control systems, that is the CCTV cameras or lock and key systems for remote locking systems for some areas which needs to be protected, where people should not be getting in. And also making sure that the contractors don't just walk in to wherever they want. I mean, they are escorted. Passenger servicing management system, cargo handling, loading computers, and all those type of systems. So, like we said, there is one of the first steps is creating asset register. We have created a website for. I'll go to that website so that you can see what kind of asset protection. What kind of asset registry is created and what is checked. So this is something which is available, which you can go, and I'll go through the. Okay, let me go back to the previous page just to quickly show. This is the page, this is actually cybersecurity.floatsys.com is the site name where you can go for doing this one. So this is all the services. So the classes, there is a full-fledged cybersecurity management class is coming on November 18 and 19. It's basically 4 hours each day. Same time starts but ends at 12 o'clock here in Houston. There are some of the reference materials are already available here. You can download them. Then, like I said, you enter this information, name, email address, phone number, and the company and all, and then you can go. So basically, we provide the service. This checklist was created for our customers to actually enter the information of assets on board and their procedures, so that we can start working with them on creating the risk assessment and vulnerability assessment and developing their plans. So once you click the start here, this is what we were talking about. Here the guidelines on how to fill it. So then I'll go into that. First, it is going into the it's going into the operational technology information. So basically GPS, you write the make and model, provide onboard AS, number of units, you say how many pieces are there. Integration status, is it standalone or is it connected with, it could be connected with the bridge navigation system or whatever it is. Integration details, is it integrated with one system or is it the same thing is integrated with multiple systems? If there is any remote monitoring of the same information, software methodology via internet or locally by OEM, other is the original equipment manufacturer, locally by the ship staff. Here, is there any procedure on that, on some policy documents? Is it properly documented or is it an informal one? So this is the similar kind of information you collect for everything. So this is but I was just showing you as an example. So GPS, bridge navigation, echo sounder, speed log, all of them, autopilot, ECDIS, VDR, SVDR, integrated navigation system, VHF. Also. I'll not go listing out each of them. Then the next page goes to the information technology asset register. Basically, you asset type, you write the details, and then what kind of protections they have: firewall protection, malware, antivirus protection, password. So backup strategies and all those information is given. So now I have to go back and share the slide, I guess. Did I go back all the way? Okay, this is what we were looking at. So now we were talking about identifying the vulnerabilities. That is where the risk, the register, asset register came in. So now the risk exposure, it is the same kind of equation for same like risk assessment for the security vulnerability assessments. The threat, that is what is the capability of the threat. I mean, how penetrable they are. Vulnerability of the system or identified vulnerabilities, and what is the consequence of such a threat. So that is what defines the risk. So each of them going high means the risk goes up. So even if the consequences are high, maybe the consequences are high, even if the vulnerability is low, that still might be a high risk. On risk management, this is the senior management is the one who decides what is the risk appetite for the company, and who decides what is the budget for the cybersecurity management that the company can allot. So this is management decision, and that proper decision is the one that is required for the lower level, the actual business or process level folks to take proper measures. I mean, that is what guides them on what is that we can do. Moving on. So once the risk is assessed, so what are the, based on that calculation, we decide what kind of protection is required. So the idea of the protection is to reducing the probability of occurrence or reducing the consequence or impact of the incident in a way that risk is acceptable. So management has decided, okay, this is what is acceptable. So the purpose of the protection and detection measures is to make sure that all the identified risks are brought to an acceptable level. So for that protection, there are the different safeguards that is required to be made, are the security measures and good practices. So this is basically, firewalls or those kind of functional protection measures, passwords and stuff like that. Then procedural safeguards. So this is basically what people should, like changing passwords every 3 months or whatever procedures they have for making sure that the process, also the like contractor, when they come, they should be escorted by a crew. So these are procedural safeguards. Or no thumb drive. If something has to be, they have to be virus checked beforehand, or whatever procedural safeguards are taken. Policies also. So this is the policies approved by the upper level. So policy is basically saying, it is the setting the criteria for how it is all done. So now, after taking all these measures, still there are risks, right? So still there are residual risks which could have major impacts. So in that case, to deal with those things, you should have contingency plans. You should have contingency plans which shows that which will reduce the impact, or the ship can still operate, or it doesn't go too bad. And this is something that they should be drilling. They should be doing drills every time so that they are aware of it and they don't forget at the last minute. So, some of the examples of what requires contingency plan is loss of availability of electronic navigational equipment, or loss of integrity of navigation related data. Probably you should have paper charts and other equipment so that you can still navigate. Loss of availability, the same thing here. Loss of availability or integrity of external data sources, like for example, the global navigation satellite system, GPS, loss of essential connectivity with the shore, including but not limited to availability of GMDSS communications, loss of availability of other control systems, including propulsion, auxiliary systems, and stuff like that. And what do you do in that case? Like this happened due to cyber risk, right? So what happens if there is a ransomware incident? So what is your plan? What measures you will do? So next is next step. The normal process is to respond to it. So that basically plan for in case something happens, how do you respond to? So you should develop and implement activities and plans to provide resilience and to restore systems necessary for shipping operations or services impaired due to a cyber event. And recover is this is exactly taken from the IMO resolution, IMO guideline. Identify measures. So recovery is identify measures to back up and restore cyber systems necessary for shipping operations impacted by the cyber event. So to get you back up and running again. Integrating with the safety management system. That is what this all zeroes down to. The IMO has decided that this should be a management system control. It should be a management control that is required. So what they have required as per the MSC resolution 428 of 98, the Maritime Safety Committee, is that cybersecurity should be integrated with the company's safety management system. Like I said before, in the ISM code, it was written that all perceived safeguards should be taken against all perceived risks. And like I said at that time, who thought this was there was no perception of a cybersecurity risk at that time. But now it is different. Now even IMO is openly saying that you should do it. It is a recommendation, but still the way ISM is structured, nobody can say that I don't perceive that as a risk because it is already a publicly stated document. So it has to be taken into account. And the requirement is that first audit of the company, shipping company. So this happens every year. First audit after 1st January 2021. There should be the cybersecurity aspects has to be taken care and the safeguards are so basically cybersecurity risk management has to be implemented. Excuse me. So this again goes back to the same cycle. This is what a company has to do. So this is what audited from the DOC auditing company, the DOC issuance company, the recognized organization of the flag state who issued the DOC would be checking to see these activities have been done, like identification of threats, identification of vulnerabilities, risk assessment, development of protection measures, establishing contingency plans, and respond to and recover from cybersecurity incident. There are proper plans to do that. There is guidelines, which is the IMO guideline. Some of these documents are already in our site, microsite for cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity.floatsys.com. You can look at that, and we are here to help you out also in the process. Like you saw that site we created for entering the information. If your company is looking for getting support on this one, we have experts to provide you the services who can do a professional job for creating your maritime cybersecurity risk management plan and integrating that with the safety management system. One of the ways that can be done is either you modify various parts of the safety management system integrate, add this all to modify. So pretty much everywhere you add a little bit, or you can create this as a standalone document and refer from the main the ISM code, the safety management system manual. You cross-refer to this one. So that is another alternative. So just to explain, FloatSys is a engineering and consultancy company as well as a training company. So we can do engineering. We have the academy is our training division. Advisory is all this management system consulting services we can do. We have digital system which develops various types of software for the shipping industry, as well as we have IT experts who can support on the network systems and stuff like that. And we can verify compliance. We have a network of people around the world who can support in verifying your compliance. If you are looking for a third-party verification. To briefly summarize our about us, enhancing safety in the maritime industry. That is all our values. I'll not spend much time. I'll just say our vision is a maritime industry that do not compromise on quality due to its cost, because very often we decide, say for example, maritime cybersecurity management, worrying about the cost, people postpone it. That happens in our personal lives also. I cannot afford it. There are people who don't have health insurance. They have serious illnesses. I cannot afford it. So what do I do? That should never be the case. So we are, that is our vision. So we are trying to make bring cost-effective solutions to the for the industry. On our academy, like in the previous slide I said, this is actually a screenshot from our website, and academy is one of our services. And we have on the training side, we have different kind of trainings that we have e-learning modules, which is on-demand courses that you can go in and log in and register and do it. That is being uploaded now, and it should be available in another week's time, some of them, and more of them are coming soon. We have self-study courses, like experienced professionals like you, if you want to do on management system courses, where we could make available the study materials for you, where you can, if you are capable of reading by yourself and learning things. If that is easy for you, everybody is not, everybody don't learn the same way. If that is okay with you, it could be done very cheap. Your study materials will be provided, and you can do your professional certification examination as well as all those things, and you get a qualification based on that. There are virtual classrooms. That's what we are focusing mainly now. Because of the COVID situation, we don't have in-class training going on now. We also develop custom training for companies where we can, based on your training needs, we can create courses for you. You know what our competences are. Anything maritime, we can, and ISO standards, we can support you. And we have trainers around the world. We have a state-of-the-art learning management system, a large selection of ISO standards. Pretty much all the ISO standard related trainings we have, as we can arrange. We haven't scheduled many of them, but self-study is possible. So we are an Exemplar Global recognized training provider. Exemplar Global used to be the former RAB, which is the US accreditation personal certification body, and QSA, which is the Australian professional certification body. They merged together, and then later they changed name to Exemplar Global. So it's a major professional certification body in the world. They do certification of auditors for all types of things. You can look at exemplarglobal.org for more information on them. And we also have PECB, that is another accreditation body. PECB accredited approved courses on quality management, health and safety management, environment management, asset management. So our maritime auditor courses are approved by Exemplar Global. Going further, I'll just show you the. I'll show you the. Let's look at the upcoming courses. So we have on maritime cybersecurity. You can see the third one over there. We have a course which is a 2-day event. I mean, each day 4 hours on November 18 and 19. So that will address this course, the maritime cybersecurity requirements much more into detail. I mean, discussing about various type of threats and whatever precautions needs to be done, and all those, and even actually do a real a mock risk assessment so that you can see that. We have a maritime internal auditor course, which is from November 9 to 12. That is 4 days, but each day 4 hours, which is a 16-hour course. It addresses ISM Code, ISBS Code, and Maritime Labor Convention, all 3 major maritime codes. And also, this integrates the maritime cybersecurity requirements as well. We have a towing safety management system auditor course for the US towing safety management system requirements under the Code of Federal Regulations. We have a ISO 45000 lead auditor course starting in November to December. And the 27000 ISO 27000, which is the information security course, which will happen from November 30 to December 4. But that one won't be. So the ISO 45000 lead auditor course, it's actually every day 3 hours. And the other one, ISO 27000, is full 8 hours per day. It's a 5-day program. Oh, this is I would like to announce that whoever participated this today's webinar, we are offering a special discount for 15% for any course that you sign up with until October 30th. So here is a discount code that is valid for you. We will email that to you also along with the course materials. We will, I mean, the recording. We will give you the link for the recording also later. And the training coordinator advised me that you will all get a certificate of attending the webinar. I'll quickly go to the learning management system so that I can show you how it works. Something is being shared in the live event right now. Share. Okay, this is our learning management system. Where you go is lms.floatsys.com. And when you go, these are the upcoming webinars. Is there different marine and offshore courses, management system courses. So if you want to register for one of the courses, You go there, auditing and investigation courses, say the cybersecurity management course. We have the date here. So if you want to enroll for that, you click enroll. Then preferably you better create a login beforehand, so you don't have to, you can do that. Here is your first time. So if you go here and if you create this one now, then you'll have to go back to the home page to select the course once again. So once you log in, see here, if you apply that discount code, here you enter the discount code and then you apply the discount code, enter your credit card. You can buy the course and just then you will get access to the course sessions where you can go through you will be going through the same learning management system. So the virtual classroom also is a platform integrated with this one. This is just to show how our LMS work, and you can see the various courses. If you go through the marine surveyor course, there is all these different marine surveyor courses are available. Some of the courses are e-learning also is available. We will actually on the home page you can see there are some sample courses are given on the, like for example here load line survey e-learning. It's a sample course is there if you want to look at that one. My management system courses, we have all these management system courses, quality. I think I already discussed that before. So that is to talk about our various courses that we have. Wait, what am I sharing now? I'm not sure. Share. This is the one. Okay. So there are a couple of webinars coming in November 17th. We have a webinar on inventory of hazardous materials on board, which is the hazmat expert training. The webinar on just like I did today. It will be briefly explaining the thing, and there is actually a proper inventory hazmat expert course that is coming up in December. And there is also ISO 45000 webinar, which is a new standard, and now it is a transition happening. So a lot of the companies are looking for people with that qualification. So there is a webinar on December 1. So that is basically the same time, I guess. So if you have any questions, if I did receive any questions. One second. Is there any questions, Adit?
No questions yet, sir.
Okay, so no questions. All right, so I guess that's it for today's webinar. Like I said, thank you very much for joining the webinar. And yeah, we are on time. It's 8:56. So great. So see you all for next course or next webinar. Thank you very much.